Okay, folks, welcome back. Jeff Landfield here, coming to you live from my studio in Anchorage, Alaska on a Friday night. Man, I was not going to do a live stream tonight. I was thinking of doing one tomorrow. I'm taking off on Sunday. I'm visiting some family for Thanksgiving. I got to tell you what, the wildest, weirdest thing happened, and it's involving this absolute lunatic, Dorene Lorenz, who, if you watched the live stream a couple days ago, I encourage you to go watch it. But I discussed her threat of lawsuit against me for talking about her trip to Switzerland with the Human Rights Commission. The Governor Dunleavy, somehow put this nut on the Human Rights Commission. It's wild. So I talked about that. She was in Switzerland on the state dime with Rob Corbusier. He's a director. They went to Switzerland on some human rights. I don't even know what the hell it was, but the state paid for the whole thing: airfare, hotels, lodging. So I posted about that when I heard about it a couple days ago. She was mad about that because I tied her kind of Jesse Lee home problems years ago when the state pulled the grant and she got in trouble for all this bullshit spending that happened. So, you know, people, I got to give this nutcase a little bit of credit. I mean, I don't want to give her credit, but I'm going to give her a little bit of credit. I mean, I've been threatened. People have threatened to sue me hundreds of times. I mean, it's like every day, I'm going to sue you, you know, it's all the time. I'm going to sue you for this, or I'm going to, you know, no one ever has. So I got to give this lunatic a tiny bit of credit for actually being the first one. Now, it's a crazy, insane. The only reason I know about it is because people started sending to me, but she tagged me in the landmine on one of her 5 Facebook. So first of all, folks, if you have 5 Facebook accounts, some personal Facebook, something's wrong with you, right? We just F out the gate. We know something's wrong with her. Also, she posted the links, these PDFs to the lawsuit itself and the affidavit, which is I've actually just read the first part of it. I didn't read I'm going to go through it with you guys. I'm going to go through the lawsuit, which, by the way, I have not been served, and she's representing herself. So what's the saying? You know, a man who has a man who has himself as a client is or what is it? A man who represents himself as, you know, has the worst client, and that's basically what's going on here. So she filed in the Juneau court. I have not been served, which means this is all at this point still a joke. She's representing herself. She's very excited about her 5 Facebook accounts about this lawsuit and affidavit. So before I get into this, I want to thank our sponsors, Jonathan Quick in the Kenai Peninsula, John Quick Sports Independent Journalism, and I really want to thank John Quick for being a longtime sponsor of Landmine Live. And then, of course, Ryan Sheldon, Talkeetnalanding.com. Some great little cabins out there in Talkeetna, starting at $99 a night. Talkeetnalanding.com. Go check them out if you're skiing or snowshoeing or fat tire biking or just want to get away. If you're in Anchorage or Fairbanks, want to get away for the weekend, go check out Talkeetnalanding.com, Ryan Sheldon. They have great little couple cabins out there. I'm going to get out there at some point, hopefully before session starts, to check it out, and I'm very excited about that. So again, I want to thank our sponsors, Jonathan Quick in the Kenai Peninsula and Ryan Sheldon, Talkeetnalanding.com. So let's get into it here. I just have this stuff because she posted it on her one of 5 Facebook. Let's just pull this baby up real quick while we're here. So let me just demonstrate. Okay, so let's go here and here. So this is her. Now she's tagged Dorene Lorenz with the Alaska Landmine and 5 others. Well, the others are her, and me, Jeff Landfield. What kind of nut operates 5? I mean, this starts off the bat with just how crazy this woman is. Recent Juneau Assembly candidate on the Human Rights Commission. Just crazy person who's I guess suing me or suing Land. It's funny, she's not just suing me and Landmine. She's suing Paxton Welber and Scott Jensen, my part owners of the Landmine, who I mean, it just shows you how dumb she is to even include them. So I've pulled this up. Let me go ahead and pull it up here. So I'm gonna now, I read the affidavit personally, the first part of it myself a little bit, but I didn't want to go into it. I didn't want to finish reading because I wanted to just go into it with you guys live because it's so fucking hilarious. I mean, this woman has no grip on reality if she ever had one. So let's go into it involves Speedogate. We're doing a little throwback here, folks. We're going a little throwback 10 years back. So this is her affidavit. Now keep in mind, anybody can fill out an affidavit for any reason. They can say whatever they want. It's all bullshit. Okay, Alaska Landmine, me, LLC, Jeffrey Landfield, Paxton Welber, Scott Jensen. So this is her affidavit. Now we'll get into the lawsuit in a second. I, Dorene Lorenz, being first duly sworn upon oath, depose in state as follows. I became aware of Jeffrey Landfield during my tenure as news director and main anchor for ABC Fox Alaska Television. I'm pretty sure, that's the Maria Athens station. She worked at the Maria Athens station. That just gives you an idea of the lunacy of this woman. ABC Fox News Television News as host of the political affairs program Alaska Political Insider. Based on my recollection, very key, based on her recollection 10 years ago, at or around March 1st, 2015, Lanfield applied for and was formally appointed by Governor Bill Walker to the Alaska Commission on Judicial Conduct. That's true. The body responsible for oversight of judicial ethics and conduct. His appointment, however, required confirmation by the Alaska State Legislature before he could assume the position. True. The day the governor's list was distributed, I was present in the office of Tom Wright, Chief of Staff to the Speaker of the House, Representative Mike Chenault. While Wright and I were reviewing pending board and commission appointments, Wright noted that he did not recognize the name Jeff Lanfield. So I looked him up on Facebook to help identify the applicant. Here's where it starts getting bullshit. Now, Tom, I think Tom knew me back then because I'd run for the state senate against Lisa McGuire in 2012, and this is related to the Speedogate thing. We'll get into in a second. So I need to ask Tom if this is even true. So first of all, it starts off just false because I was appointed. It was read over. I know what happened. I've done Arctic entries about this. I was read over the journal. I told the Walker people, hey, I don't know if I should be on this. I never wanted to be on that one. I had applied for other ones. That was the one they put me on. I said, I'm a little worried about Lisa McGuire. I ran against her in 2012. We're not really, we're great now, but we were at the time, we're kind of nemesis. And they were like, oh, it's no big deal, no problem. And then once it was read over the floor and my name was out there, then there was Liesel's people that got very upset about the whole thing. Well, right. So now she's inserting herself into Speedogate. I've never heard this before. I've never heard of this. This is just nuts. While Wright and I were reviewing pending board and commission appointments, Wright noted that he did not. Okay, I read that part. Upon accessing Lanfield's Facebook page, we observed that he had publicly posted numerous photographs depicting himself in very minimal swimwear, intimately embracing or touching scantily dressed women while holding alcohol. True. Yeah, that was in Vegas. Speedo. You gotta go hard in Vegas. The nature of the images raised significant concerns regarding professionalism and suitability for a position overseeing the ethical conduct of Alaska's judiciary. Now, at the same time, around the same time, 2015, she was blowing all this Jesse Lehome money, right? That the state of Alaska Department of Commerce pulled for cause, which I don't think grants hardly ever get pulled for cause. So at the same time, she's doing this Jesse Lehome bullshit with this money. Anyways, Wright viewed the photographs and immediately forwarded them to the governor's office. Shortly thereafter, Lanfield's name was withdrawn from consideration for appointment to the Commission on Judicial Conduct. Now, this is bullshit. What happened was, and I know what happened because I know people that were there, Lisa McGuire, who we're great now, love Lisa, we're friends. Back then, we were not friends. I ran against her in 2012. She was chair of the Judiciary Committee. Her agents, whatever, they got the pictures. They shopped them around the Capitol. They made my appointment to this commission kind of very politically sensitive. And the Walker, he just got reelected, and that's what really happened. In Lanfield's recent Facebook, so she thinks she's claiming responsibility for Speedogate. I mean, what an insane grip on reality if she ever had one. In Lanfield's recent Facebook live broadcast on November 18th, 2025, he stated that he had tried many times to obtain appointment to the state of Alaska boards and commissions and implied that he had been unfairly passed over. Now, that's true, but what I meant was, and I think I said this, under Dunleavy, because under Parnell, I had applied, and I was told, I was very critical of Parnell's not ever cutting the budget, not ever vetoing anything. Now they're looking for people. I told some guys that I know, Jordan Schilling and Tyson Gallagher, I said, hey, I'd like to, if you guys need somebody, I'd like to be on a board or commission. I put my resume in. I said, I'm willing to, there's a lot of these things, and I'm willing to do it. And the governor, I sued the governor over this press stuff, so we're okay. But, it was kind of just, so I was told that, well, they put her on the board. Jordan Schilling told me they put Dorene Lorenz on the board because, well, we just don't have that many applicants. I mean, we're just kind of whatever we can get, we don't have a lot of people applying for these things. So what I had said was, yes, I said, I'm willing to be on the board or commission. I mean, part of it was, I would be kind of funny if Dunleavy put me on something because of our past, but also, I mean, why not put somebody, it's a team of rivals thing, right? So she's conflating this with the Speedogate. He further suggested the only reason I was appointed to my current position on the Alaska State for Human Rights is because of lack of applicants. That's what Jordan Schilling told me. He's the boards and commissions guy. So that's what he told me. Since the Alaska Landfill was granted a press pass by the Alaska State Legislature in 2020, Landfill has engaged in a continuing and escalating pattern of attacks against me and his publication and on his associated social media platforms. Continuing and escalating pattern of attacks. Not sure what that's about. I mean, I've written about her when she did that insane other affidavit, which watch the other live stream talking about the Kathy Giesel affidavit. She claimed that Giesel told her all the military troops do is rape women. I mean, that's what she said. Dorene Lorenz said this in some Looney Tune affidavit in 2020. His continual presence in the Capitol places him in close proximity to legislative staff and decision makers, and it is my understanding that he became aware of the circumstances surrounding the withdrawal of his own appointment to the Alaska Commission on Judicial Conduct. Yet what happened was the Walker people got in touch with me, and after I told them about Liesel and this issue, and I've done this in Arctic Entries. I mean, this is not a secret. This is a very public story. Huffington Post wrote an article about it. It was a big kind of moment. But they called me and said, look, this is a problem. You need to step down. I said, well, does the governor want me to step down? You know, I don't want us to be bullied. And then eventually they just pulled me off the commission. So, I mean, this is, I don't know what his continual presence. Here's how fucking crazy she is. I wasn't even in Juneau then. I didn't start going to Juneau until 2019, full time with the landmine, 2019. I was never even, I don't even think I had been, I mean, I'd maybe been to Juneau once for a work thing, so I don't even know it. His continual presence in the Capitol placed him in close proximity to legislative staff and decision makers. And as my understanding, he became aware of the circumstances surrounding the withdrawal of his own appointment to the Alaska Commission on Judicial Conduct. This proximity and awareness likely informed and may have contributed to the personal animus or malice motivating his defamatory statements about me. Here's how fucking crazy she is. I was in Anchorage in 2015. I didn't go to Juneau. I had a job. I was working for an IT company. I didn't go to Juneau with a landmine. I didn't start the landmine until 2017. Didn't start going to Juneau until 2019, full-time during session. So this is the first time I've heard of Dorene Lorenz having anything to do with Speedo again. Now I got to call Tom Wright and see if this is any of this meeting with her and him. And I mean, and Tom Wright knew me. I mean, it was a big campaign in 2012. It was like very visible. I almost beat Lisa McGuire in 2012. One of the most damaging of these attacks occurred in his October 1st, 2023 article in the Sunday Minefield, where he portrayed me as a loose unit. Absolutely. Join the club. It's a big list. And described me in demeaning terms. In that article, Landfill boasted, I was saving this one. As several local elections are taking place on Tuesday, it's finally time to highlight a true loose unit. This week's loose unit is Dorene Lorenz, who is running for the Juneau Assembly. Absolutely. Landfill explained that he withdrew this material so that he could drop it at a moment when it would cause maximum political damage. Including the article was the statement, she belongs nowhere near elected office. 100%. Anybody with 5 fucking Facebook accounts who's sharing all this stuff, you know, I mean, I think she's one of these people who's like just seeking constant validation. What do you call that? There's a term. I'll think of the term in a second. But she's somebody who's just seeking. I think she loves the attention. She needs to be in the limelight. Shortly after that attack was published, I lost my election. You didn't lose your election, lady, because of me, okay? Let me tell you. We should go and pull the numbers up on that one. My God. But thank God she lost. The timing of this publication, paired with his own admission of strategic release. What are these, nuclear missiles? Strategic release. Demonstrates deliberate intent to cause reputational and electoral harm. Lady, you're a public official. Grow a fucking thin skin. My God. Despite this ongoing contact, I refrain from filing a formal complaint, making public statements in recognition that elected and appointed officials must accept the broader scope of public criticism. I believe it is my responsibility to bear such commentary without resorting to legal action. However, Landfill crossed a clear and legally significant line in his October 17th post on X and his November 18th Facebook Live broadcast. Actually, the Facebook Live broadcast was also on X and YouTube, so he left that out. Through his statements, omissions, and presentation, Landfill knowingly communicated a false and defamatory implication. No, I didn't. Deliberately conveying in the innuendo and interference that I had stolen state funds and used them for personal enrichment. I never said stolen. I said she got in trouble, which the state canceled the grant to the Jesse Leon by cause. I mean, it was electronic equipment. It was bikini wax that she somehow claimed was to teach kids about taking hair off animals. Fucking insane. It was booze. It was even in the story, which I've watched the old live stream. I quoted the stories and how Fred Parody was like, well, actually, it wasn't just. We just didn't say, hey, you're done. It was, we canceled the baby with cause, okay? With cause. He further suggested that he was effectively beyond legal accountability and stated that I should simply take it because of my public role. I never said I was beyond legal accountability, but yeah, you should take it because you're a public figure like me, you know? Your buddy Ivan Moore just shared some. Maybe you're friends with him. He shared a bunch of wild stuff, saying that I attack women, and these people say that I hate Native people. It's all this, whatever. People say whatever they want. It's bullshit. I ignore it. The combination of knowingly false statements, malicious intent, and his assertion that he can defame without consequence makes it evident that his conduct has escalated beyond permissible conduct, public commentary, and into actionable defamation. Did ChatGPT write this? Did she put this into a ChatGPT? That's my question. It seems like she may have had the AI give her a little hand here. Because landfill is now engaged in the deliberate publication and republication of provably false allegation of criminal misconduct. Criminal misconduct? Statements he knows to be untrue and is paired with these explicit expressions of personal animus. I have been compelled to bring this complaint. His conduct is no longer merely inappropriate commentary. It is a sustained campaign of malicious defaming, causing significant personal, professional, reputational harm. I affirm these statements herein are true. The best of your knowledge. But, lady, these statements are many of them are very untrue. Also, I've since talked to my lawyer. Got some lawyers. Love that. And guess what? When I do get served, and when this does actually play out, if it ever goes to that point, guess what? I get to depose Dorene Lorenz under oath. Let's talk about that Jesse Lee home. And I'll be putting in a public records request for all of the correspondence and everything that pertained to the... Because I know about the letter they sent you, Dorene. I know about the letter. I have friends in the government, okay? I know about the letter they sent you, which I don't think has ever been made public. So we're going to be getting all of those through records request and discovery. Let's go through the next one here. This is the lawsuit. And again, I've not been served. This is on her Facebook. This is on her five or six Facebook accounts. Okay, this is the lawsuit itself. Lorenz is a resident of Juneau and chairman of the Alaska State Commission for Human Rights. Wonder how long that's going to last. Former chairman of the Friends of Jesse Lee Home, a nonprofit corporation, brings action on personal capacity. This is landmine stuff, my address. She's going after Paxson and Scott, too. Don't worry about it, guys. I'll handle this. We're dealing with a psychopath. Okay, let's see here. Jurisdiction. It's filed in Juneau. On about November 17th, defendants published a defamatory... Okay, Paxson or Scott did not. I did. Published a defamatory post on the Alaska Landmine account on the social media platform X, referring to Lorenz by name and likeness and stating, remember when she got in trouble for using state money for the Jesse Lee home for herself? Yep. Statement is false. Lorenz never stole, misused, or personally benefited from state funds. We're going to see about that. After the Jesse Lee home grants were audited, the state of Alaska formally concluded that Lorenz committed no theft and no personal enrichment. Well, Parody said that in the article, but let me tell you, they didn't want to go through, they just cut the grant off. That's way easier than going after her for, it was millions of, I think it was 700,000. The grant was millions. This is back when the state had a lot of money, so they weren't really checking on this stuff as closely. Commerce and Economic Development, Fred Parody, who oversaw management of the grants in question, publicly stated, to be clear, he doesn't think anybody stole any money. Conclusion was, what did he say? Let me just pull this up because it shows how just Looney Tune she is. I think I still have this article up. Let me pull this up just so we can go back to the Fred Parody quote that she was very excited about. I think it's here. Just bring this real quick here. That's her bikini wax. Unfortunately, since the Walker administration, we haven't been able to access funds, Lorenz said. We used to go every spring and batten it back down. We did that for several years and did a really good job of keeping the building dry. But we haven't been able to do it for years. The part about not being able to access funds is something Lorenz said in 2 recent TV news stories and several times on her group's Facebook page, imploring supporters to write and call the legislators. Lorenz left out a key detail, though. The grants are actually terminated, said Fred Parody, Deputy Commissioner of the Department of Commerce, Community and Economic Development, which had been overseeing the grants. Great guy. Fred passed away last year. Just Lisa, his wife's really nice with the Council on School Administrators. Fred was actually the Speaker of the House in Wyoming back in the day. And one of my regrets, I never got him on the podcast. We talked about it several times, but Fred's a great dude. Was a great dude. Parody said the grants were terminated for cause. Very important, okay? That means they found some shit, and they were like, it's done. We're not giving you any more money. We just had a series of reporting issues and accountability issues back and forth between the Friends of the Jesse Lee home, disallowed or questionable costs that were identified. And it became clear the process wasn't working, and we need to terminate the grants, so we did, Parody said. Termination letter from July 2015 states, it has become painfully apparent this project will not be successful. I'm getting the letter, Dorene. It points to nearly $700,000 improperly documented spending and lists expenses on travel and a film festival, as well as alcohol, an office remodel, and stereo equipment sent to a home address. Dorene, you going to put some stereo? You going to have a little party in the Jesse Lee home? What are you doing? What are you fucking doing? There was even a tub of bikini wax. Lorenz's explanations for some of the spending that she said an audit later found out some of the expenses to be justified. For example, the wax was needed to develop a possible lesson on how to not remove hair from animal fur. What the fuck is that? Maybe it's to wax your legs. Maybe it was for that. But about 15 minutes of back and forth about the state's broader claims that grants were terminated for a variety of reasons, including a general lack of controls on spending, Lorenz said she did not have a clear answer. I can't give you an explanation for this because no explanation was given to me on why before. For years, everything was fine, and then all of a sudden it was not fine. And it's not only not fine today, but it's not fine in the past either. Parody admitted the scope of the grants agreements allowed for more than just construction costs. To be clear, doesn't think anybody stole any money. Parody said the Friends of Jessley Home might have gotten off track with developing the school curriculum and distracted them from the more immediate needs of deteriorating building. Yeah, the building's since been knocked down. Millions of dollars. Woo. Okay, so we'll get back to the other one here. Let's get back to the lawsuit nonsense. Okay. Conclusion. So she's saying, oh, she's just fine. Nothing happened. Defendants previously cited the same reporting multiple times and therefore had actual knowledge that no theft occurred. Never said theft, Dorene. You should learn to read. Despite the knowledge, defendants accused Lorenz of criminal misuse of funds. Accusation imputes criminal conduct and constitutes defamation per se. Okay. Defendants have a long-standing pattern of referring to Lorenz and degrade. This is the best part. Judge Mead's going to read this, I think. Maybe. I don't know if he's actually going to serve me or do anything. You know, anybody can file a lawsuit in court. It costs $250, by the way. Defendants have a long-standing pattern of. Oh, did I go back to my? Here we go. Long-standing pattern of referring to Lorenz in regard degrading terms, labeling her nuts, hyper incompetent, and a loose unit. Stand by all three. I love the. This is not the first time loose unit's been put into the court system, but I like it every time it is. Lorenz formally demanded a retraction. Defendants refused. That's me. Responding with ridicule, the defamatory statements on X remains publicly accessible and widely circulated, and it always will be, baby. On November 18th, 2025, defendant Landfill conducted a Facebook Live broadcast publicly posted and widely disseminated. Oh, thanks. Don't forget, it's not just Facebook, it's X and YouTube as well. During the live stream, Landfill displayed defendant's defamatory X post on camera, let the words sit visible on the screen, pointed to the sentence accusing Lorenz of stealing state funds. I said she got in trouble, which she did because they canceled she was chair of the Jesse Lee home, and read it aloud, except for the final most damning words, those explicitly asserting that Lorenz stole money and used it to enrich herself. I said got in trouble, and she did get in trouble. By intentionally omitting the most defamatory words while directing viewers' attention, Landfill intensified the false implication, allowing the audience to supply the criminal accusation themselves. Fuck, what a nut. And thereby strengthening the defamatory message while attempting to evade responsibility for explicitly stating it. The Facebook Live broadcast was not an accident or a casual remark. It was deliberate and separate act of defamation, undeniably slander by implication. By publishing the false accusation in a manner designed to intensify the defamatory force, Landfill acted knowingly, purposely, and with actual malice. His conduct demonstrates a clear intent to damage Lorenz's reputation. Well, it's already fucking pretty damaged. I mean, what am I going to do? Jesus. What a nut. Loose unit. I mean, I already have a good loose unit for Sunday. Back-to-back loose units are, in fact, rare, folks. They have happened. They will happen. This might be the time. I mean, it's close. Okay? It's close. Got Thanksgiving coming up. You know, this is close. False accusations. Here heard per se legal authority statements implying criminal wrongdoing and blah, blah, actual malice. This is all kind of bullshit. Let's just kind of get through the... See, I think she's looking for money. What's she looking for here? Defendants, false light, blah, blah, blah. Let's see here. Here we go. Lorenz requests judgment against defendants as follows. An award of compensatory damages in the amount to be proven at trial. If this thing goes forward, actually, which I'm dubious about, but, we're going to depose you, Lorene, and we're going to have a lot of fun with that. And the discovery, Dorene, and the discovery. An award of punitive damages in order compelling defendants to retract and correct the defamatory statements. Not going to happen. Pre and post judgment interest as allowed by law. Costs and other relief this court finds just and equitable. 21st day of... No, the only reason I have this stuff, I have not been served. She posted this on one of her 5 or 6 Facebook accounts. She's got a lot of... She's very popular. She's got a lot of Facebook accounts. She got to reach the people. It's very important that she maintains all these accounts, and she gets out the message of the important stuff the state courts need to focus on. You know, it's me allegedly defaming her by talking about her Jesse Lee home bullshit that happened 10 years ago and all the money. Also, she just went to Switzerland on the state dime. Now Rob Corbusier, he got back to me. The travel authorizations have not been done yet, but it's like his ticket was almost $3,000. We don't know about her ticket. Let's say it's $2,000, $3,000, $200 a night for hotels in Switzerland for a week. So we're talking about 10 grand for them to go to Switzerland for the Human Rights Commission, which, I mean, I thought there was a travel ban. Rob tells me the office of the governor approved it. So maybe there's not a travel ban. I don't know. It's hard to say. But that's the story tonight. Dorene Lorenz is a, just lunatic psychopath with a very tenuous grip on reality, if she ever had one, who is, the fact that she's trying to insert herself into Speedogate, which, my license plate says Speedo, okay? This was not her. This was Liesel. And this was, I don't even know if she was aware of it. I mean, I got to talk to Tom Wright. Tom Wright knew who I was. And I've never even heard of her having any involvement in the Speedogate until this day. I looked it up real quick. I didn't even see any articles. She worked for that ABC Fox. That's that Maria Athens station. I mean, that tells you a lot right there. If she's working for this fucking Maria Athens, this ABC fucking coastal television, whatever the hell it was. What does she even do? What do you do? She ran for the Juneau Assembly. She's around. She goes to Juneau sometimes with a press pass. She has no fucking idea what's going on. I mean, does she have money? I mean, what is she doing? What do you do? I mean, you filled out this lawsuit. Maybe the AI help you. But this is going to be fun. I mean, I want to say again, I got to give some credit. And again, it's the least amount of credit I could give somebody. I mean, it's this much credit. But she did actually sue me. And in 8 years of doing Landmine, I've been threatened to be sued hundreds of times, maybe more. I don't know, hundreds of times. And the closest thing I ever got was the Skip Myers guy when he sent the demand letter about when Paxson took the picture of him with the Star of David at the Anchorage Assembly meeting on the mask mandate stuff. And he got very upset about that because it was a great picture. He had the Star of David. He was pointing at Forrest Dunbar. And he demanded we take that down, and he was going to sue and all that. He had some law firm in Washington, Lamberto, sounded like the mob. But instead of that, I just posted his picture and then more pictures. I posted a screenshot of his demand letter and then more photographs of him. Nothing ever came of it. So that was probably the closest, besides people just making threats. So, Dorene Lorenz, you are, ma'am, unwell mentally. You are a psychopath. You are a lunatic. But I'm having some fun with it. It's fun. It's a Friday. Thanksgiving's coming up next week. We're all going to have a great time. And then, maybe someday you'll serve me, and then we're going to go into the discovery, and we're going to go into the deposition phase. And we're going to have fun. And you know what, Dorene? People like me. People want to help me. You're on your own, homegirl. So let's go. We're going to have a great time. I'm looking forward to this. Folks, have a great Thanksgiving. I'm taking off on Sunday. I got some family I'm going to go visit. It's going to be great. Love Thanksgiving, one of my favorite holidays. And then we get back and we go to Juneau in we have Christmas, New Year's. We go to Juneau in January for the session. I talked about the Shelley Hughes, Mike Shower vacancies. It sounds like, I wrote in the political report yesterday, the Alaska political report, it sounds like Gary Stevens is pushing for a one meeting to confirm both replacements. I think it's going to be George Rauscher and Kathy Tilton. I've said that for a long time. That's the two most logical replacements. If that's the case, and if Dunleavy does it, let's say they're going to meet Sunday, the Republicans in the Shelley Hughes district are going to meet Sunday in the Valley, and they're going to send names to the governor. It's going to be Tilton and maybe a few others. Dunleavy could choose on Monday, potentially, if he wants to. I'm thinking that's likely. And then maybe they meet after the state Senate Republicans meet after Thanksgiving and get those babies done, get Rauscher and Tilton confirmed. I don't think there's going to be an issue. Some people have said that. I don't really foresee that happening. And then their seats are vacant, Tilton and Rauscher's House seats, and then it goes on to replacing those two folks. And that's going to be a much more fun process because it's not going to be incumbents. It's going to be new people, and we already have some kind of wild people running for those seats. So that's going to be kind of fun. And then what else? I want to thank our sponsors again. Obviously, John Quick and the Kenai Peninsula for supporting independent journalism. Thanks, John. I mean, John, maybe we're going to have to use some of your sponsors for this Dorene Lorenz situation. You know what I'm saying? Also, Ryan Sheldon. Talkeetna Landing. Got some great cabins out there in Talkeetna. There's a couple of them, $99 a night. Mention me, and he'll charge you $199. Okay? So mention me. Don't mention me, $99 a night. Talkeetna Landing. If you're fat tire biking, going to see the mountain, Denali, McKinley, whatever your preference, going skiing, just want to get away for the weekend. If you're in Anchorage or Fairbanks or anywhere in the state, go get a hold of Ryan Sheldon at talkeetnalanding.com and have a great weekend. Maybe during Lorenz, maybe you should get a Talkeetna Landing. Maybe he'll give you a deal. Get up there for a few nights, focus yourself, get ready for the deposition, get ready for the discovery. Just get away. Talkeetna is a great place. Maybe go there and kind of focus on things. Folks, I want to thank you. Have a great weekend. Thanksgiving next week.